And welcome tonight, folks, to the North American region of the CEVO main playoffs. We have a best of 3 going on between Quetzal and Nexus eSports, or as I like to refer to them as, Mexico City Furia. Remember those guys? You got Viku and Secret Agent, who used to both play for that team way back in the day. And then to wrap up the rest of their roster, it's Blue Meister, Spader, and Kinky. Then we have Nexus eSports, the French Canadians. It is B, Waka, BTK, Seb, and No One. And we do see Nexus passing into this B bomb site rather quickly. But just to let you know, I am joined by Later tonight. How's it going, dude?
I'm doing quite well. If you want to step on your toes, they're a great site take here coming out from Nexus to start off this game well. And these teams have actually already met once in the regular season. They met on Mirage, and it was Nexus eSports who absolutely dominated Quetzal, 16-3 on Mirage. So let's see if Quetzal has some better luck on a retake here on Inferno.
Yeah, we do see Kinky and Company making it around here, but BTK here from Banana able to find one B inside the pool, able to find a couple to close it out. So yeah, very powerful take there from Nexus, and didn't really have any trouble holding off the retake either. And just to give you a little bit more info about these teams, Nexus does also play an ESCA main. They have like a 10-3 record or something like that in there, so they seem to be a playoff contender over in the main division over in ESCA. Also, Quetzal, I believe they compete in intermediate in ESCA. But I mean, I think the main point is these are obviously like more amateurish teams in comparison to the Pro League, but these are teams that with these main playoffs, depending on how they do, could find themselves in the Pro Placement Tournament for Season 9 Pro League. So you're kind of looking at possible up-and-comers, so to speak. Though there's a lot of familiar faces between people like Waka and No One playing on the Nexus side. Very familiar with those guys, and obviously, like I said, Viku and Secret Agent, guys who have been, main players from the Mexican CS scene for a very long time.
Yeah, and along with that, I actually saw like a lot of, when I was doing some research about these players that I was a little less familiar about, like I saw actually a lot of hype about Blue Meister as a player. Not really sure how much of it is true or what to expect from him, but along with those familiar faces, we do, as you said, have these up-and-comers that have an opportunity to prove themselves, and you don't get to the pros by just hopping in and playing against the pros. You do have to work your way up the ladder, so I am really excited for what the potentially some lesser-known players have in store for us. But No One opening up the B-bomb site once again. He will get taken out, but I still think that should be a successful B-bomb site take for them.
Yeah, I mean, No One kind of slips up there, and he does get traded out, but then the rest of his team's able to follow up there and take the B-bomb site, no problem. A lot of MAC 10s being bought here as well, and try to get that money bonus, which Waka will get plenty of that with that MAC 10, so, more than making up for the money he spent by purchasing it, and they can roll it over to the next round as well to keep raking up cash. So just playing into that SMG meta. Meanwhile, Quetzal, bought up a little bit that last round, didn't find much. We'll be forced to full save here, and so we're likely just going to skate into a pretty quick 3-0 if I had to imagine.
Yeah, I think Nexus is just a little wary right now. They really want to make sure they're not running their headfirst into any stacks or nade traps of any kind. They played that last round really passively. I estimate they will do the same this time, as you said, sporting that extra AK-47. Now, Quetzal had some good ideas there, pop flashing their teammates over towards Beyond Banana, trying to catch some T's off guard. Unfortunately, they just couldn't quite find any. So this round, similarly, not going so well for them off the start, but as I said, Nexus is going to be playing this one slow. They really want to make sure they're not running headfirst into a trap of any kind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, last round they kind of just sent like a scouting mission with No One in there to kind of sniff things out. Only spotted 2, and then they knew it was safe to hit. And you can kind of see them doing the same thing. They're playing pretty cautious. They're just slowly taking map control here. We already see B and Company being able to get control of this bracket area. So that first level of mid has been secured from Nexus. They still do have someone lurking over there at Banana. That is going to be No One. Spader is playing alone here. All 3 players besides that are inside the A-bomb side already. Kinky is hiding out in the graveyard. He will get a surprise kill there onto Waka. Steps out though and gets caught by BTK. And they have no problem trading that out just fine. Yeah, one little ninja kill came out of Kinky, but that's going to be about it. And Spader here at that B250. Just looking to see if he can't get some exits, but Nexus will secure this round and make it a 3-0.
Yeah, BTK cleaning that last one up with the MAC 10, so going to be pocketing some extra cash, and you nailed it there on the head. The trades have been super important for Nexus, and it's been Quetzal just, as you said, picking up those sneaky frags, just one little frag, and then Nexus trades off the rest, and they're willing to sacrifice their first or second player for all of that map control. It makes the retake so much easier. It's how they were able to dominate on pistol, and the anti-eco rounds were no different in that regard. So I really like that strategy. Their first or second players in there have no real fear of dying, or at the very least, even if they do fear dying, it seems like they have the confidence in their teammates to back them up and get that trade frag, secure the map control, and then continue pushing from there. There's no, one player frags and everyone stops and tries to play for themselves. They've been working as a team, they've been pushing as a team, and that's why the trades have been so easy for them.
And Viku is going to have that op, which is what he was kind of known for back in the day when I used to watch him play in Source and throughout CSGO as well. It is interesting to note that they put their op at Banana, which usually you see that kind of playing arch side mid most of the time, unless you're going to get aggressive car and just try to kind of solo play B with an op. So it is a little bit of a different type of play style for the CT side being displayed here from Quetzal, at least in this opening gun round, as we do see Nexus, you know, just taking it pretty slow right now. Waka kind of playing over towards car, just making sure no one's sandbags. Yeah, that is kind of odd. He's just out there by himself with an op at B. Rest of the team is going to be looking to attack into mid. Secret Agent is going to be here. He's out around the corner, able to get the bomb down, but quickly traded, and so Nexus should be able to start taking to the A bomb site here. Kinky will peek out from Moto. He does find himself a kill, looking for a second on the Seb. They keep jiggle peeking each other here, but it is going to be Seb who wins that battle. And Waka also lurks in the B and finds a kill. He'll find that bomb site open, so maybe that bomb backs off. I mean, there's enough time to bring it all the way back if need be.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what's happening. Yeah, Vico's going to be in a super important role here. Has to get this frag right here on the bomber that's turning the corner. Doesn't even see him, so he's actually going to get potentially another opportunity on Banana. I don't even know if Seb knows how close this one really is, or Waka as well, because he's not even looking in that direction. He's going for a safe girl plan. Waka's about to get shot in the side of the head if he's not careful. Vico coming in hot. We'll get a little bit flash, and somehow the terrorists escape again. Amazing.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, Vico, he's a lot of damage as well trying to get in here, but it is a 2v2. There's still a chance at this retake. Spader with that M4, trying to see what he can do. Vico, he will step in. Spader gets the kill. Only one left in the back. That's going to be Waka, and so you see a little bit of overcommitment maybe. Oh, no, an Incendiary came in. He actually had no choice but to peek. Never mind. I thought that was kind of odd he peeked out so soon, but really good nade placement there for Quetzal to fletch him out.
Yeah, certainly, and also a really good read on the play, specifically from Viku in the connector in between arches, and not really sure where to go, A or B bomb site. Could have chosen to stay towards B, but being on the flank turned out to be really important. Caught the Nexus eSports players off guard. Seb had no idea that the flank was coming in so quickly behind him, and so they were unable to really retaliate. I was very uncertain of the retake play from the CTs when Viku ran right through that Molotov and took like 84 damage, like right off the top. But you know, you have an AWP in your hands, you have the ability to get that, you know, just one-click frag, and it doesn't really matter how much HP you have. You got to put yourself out there on the line, make a peek, make it happen, and that's exactly what he did. So a little bit of a gutsy play from Quetzal and some carelessness, a little bit of sloppiness from Nexus, and the dice just don't go their way that time.
And we are going to see Quetzal getting a bit more aggressive this time around. They actually put Viku's op right behind the car to try to look down range. He does find an opening pick, and he will get traded, but Blue Meister's there to come right back. So Quetzal will take the man advantage out of that exchange at Banana. So a great start. And it is worth noting that Nexus is low on money here, so a round loss here would lead to a save. Granted, Nexus, if they can gather their forces here and win this 3-on-4, they could force a reset out of Quetzal. So whoever loses this round is saving next. So this could either be Nexus extending their lead in a pretty big way, or Quetzal already tying up the game. And then we're kind of looking to see what scenario it's going to be.
And certainly from the terrorist side, the earlier you can break the CT's economy, the better. This has just been historically a CT-sided map, particularly in North America, where just teams haven't exactly figured out how to play this one as a team, particularly at this level. I mean, we see pro teams struggle on this map routinely. It doesn't get any easier down here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the most CT-sided map in rotation, especially this Banana bomb site. Like, you're forced to play through the smoke. That's just going to lead Secret Agent to be able to get some kills here. Blue Meister able to pick up one as well, so it's going to be all out to B here over at the car in a 1 versus 4. He has a decent amount of time left, I guess, but he doesn't really have any openings. Unless he can get into A and win this 1 versus 1 and get a bomb plant, it's pretty much over, which he has made his way up. He's got to get this kill. Nice flash comes out from Spader. They now know he's here. That rotation can come through spawn pretty quick. There's also a banana point coming in, and B won't be able to get past Spader, so he won't be able to get that bomb plant, and that means Quetzal will likely take a save here, and that means Nexus will likely take a save here, which means Quetzal can work towards this tie.
Certainly, and that was a round where Nexus was unable to turn that second or that initial opening frag into a trade. That was actually Quetzal putting their foot down and saying, "Hey, we're not going to let your entry fraggers bury their way all the way into a bomb site and do all the dirty work for the team. We're gonna punish them early." They went 2 for 1 at Banana, and really once they got that man advantage and really started to, as I said, take the map control away from Nexus and cut off portions of the map, like the entirety of mid, they were able to control, get the easy frags, and force Nexus into uncomfortable positions. But they've also forced their way up truck right now. A few players, bomb kind of coming to meet them right now, but a lot of damage take on this terrorist side.
Yeah, no one in Seb very, very low, and Kinky eventually going to be able to pick it up, and Viku's already rotated with that op inside the archway, so very good positioning here from Quetzal that should be able to shut this thing down. Yeah, BTK with the bomb goes down before he even gets near that site. And Viku steps out, he finds Waka, and so it's all up to B here. 1v5, just inside the apartments, and Spader will take him down, and so there you have it. It is a tied-up game at 3-all here. I mean, Nexus did put a lot of money into that round, actually, with the Technologies trying to see if they could get a bomb plant. Didn't work out, but still plenty of money here to get a full buy. You see AKs across the board, full utility, and so this will be kind of their next big chance to try to see if they can't crack open a bomb site.
Yeah, along with their buy, they do have all the AKs out, the armor, everything they could ask for. They also put a special emphasis on the Molotovs. I saw the Nexus eSports players getting the Molotov nades rather on their players early on, and prioritizing that nade over flashes and smokes earlier. That was just the first nade that all the players were buying, so they made sure they locked into each round with a Molotov on pretty much everyone before getting the other supplementary nades. So there's a clear emphasis on that grenade as a particularly useful one. B catches Spader, but Spader doesn't see him. Somehow Spader's magically able to escape without taking any damage, despite the fact he got spotted out twice there. Should be able to fall away, and Nexus is still trying to poke and prod and find some way into really anywhere on this map.
Yeah, they don't really have anything just yet here. They do have, I mean, this is the same default they've been running almost every single round. It's just trying to get apartments control, and then from there, they'll either just work into brackets, see what they can find, or try to do some type of late B hit. Problem is again, it's so hard to do late B. If you don't burn these CT's utility early on, then they can just smoke you and fire you out before you can even really execute the B-bomb side. But we are going to see Nexus actually wrapping up the arch side here pretty quickly. Secret Agent going to drop back into CT spawn. Kinky from Moto able to get one, but quickly traded. So Nexus so far, this is not too shabby. But now we see Quetzal starting to clamp down here. Spader inside the pit catches the bomb. He's going to be able to recover as well. Waka does step out for a frag, but quickly traded. Now it's all up to B. 1 versus 2. He will be able to grab this bomb. There's limited time left, and he won't even be able to fall back. Viku has a great angle with that op, and so Quetzal, that's 4 rounds in a row for them.
Yeah, really, as I said, putting their foot down, and I'm surprised to see Nexus go for a shot that kind of fell apart for them in a really similar way. I think if they didn't learn their lesson the first time, they probably did that time. A really similar strat breakdown. I think it was actually the first gun round that they lost. Actually, yeah, because they brought the bomb all the way back from arch side eventually when Vico was rotating in, but they got shredded from arches before. They've been trying to wrap around there instead of going truck side, and for the most part, it just hasn't been working out. Those arch players have been holding fast, trading well off of each other, and Nexus eSports just, again, similar strat, didn't work out, broke down in the same way. And Viku is going to be getting an opening frag onto no one with that op, so just continuing to put it to work, and really putting his entire team to work, as they seem very streaky right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nexus had the right idea there. They know that op is at banana, and it's not at arch. That's why they keep trying to attack that arch side. They realize, hey, that offer isn't here. You know, we're just going to have rifle exchanges taking place up this arch side. So they're trying to punish that. They just have gotten out-traded here recently. Like, Quetzal's really been able to play all together as a team with some of these crossfires and just trade more efficiently. And we just see kind of an eco mop-up round there. So Quetzal now at 5-3, but Nexus will be back to buying here. And they're starting to get towards that maximum loss bonus. So really, they could keep force buying until they get reset from this point forward. They actually do decide to get an op on Waka again, so I wonder what they'll be up to this time.
Yeah, last time they had him going up banana and trying to challenge Viku, who I don't even know if they knew had an op at the time, so I'm not sure if they're going to go for a similar strategy. And to continue going off of that arch conversation we had before, the CTs have also been playing a pit guy and a sight guy as well, so wrapping that arch isn't a terrible idea. You don't want to go face first at that pit guy, because that's just a super dominant spot. It's so easy for him to just chip away at players and hit heads from that pit position, and it's really difficult to hit him, and if you can, and pin him in there or even smoke him in there, it's easy. There are a lot of ways out of there and ways for a player to make a fight from pit. So let's see what D can do here against Kinky. Damage being traded back and forth, most of it going towards the terrorists.
Yeah, and they know, like, Vico moved his op this time. He's actually played apartments, and they tried to do a 3-man aggression with rifles. So, I mean, Quetzal, to their credit, being a bit dynamic on the CT side, trying to change things up a bit, and Waka gets caught. He was just trying to peek the edge of that smoke with Secret Agent, comes out, he takes a leg shot, but gets the frag. He'll take that all day long, and now Viku is able to peek out porch, grabs 1 kill, gets the bomb down, actually, but it will be recollected thanks to V being able to make the trade. But with Quetzal always remaining a man ahead here, they still have their defense. Yeah, and I mean, this is, you know, bad news. Nexus only has 2 players left in a 2 versus 4. They're running out of time. They're here at brackets, but I mean, there's plenty of people in position to be able to prevent them from getting into this site, and they're just struggling now on these gun rounds. You know, Quetzal's really tightening up their defense here, and they're starting to look real sharp.
Certainly. And they're also starting to perhaps force some frustration or frustrated plays out of Nexus there. It's sad. I feel like that's one of the players that I do recognize out of these rosters. I feel like unlike him to make an individual play like that, I mean, you're in a 3-on-4, you're already down a man. being able to trade off is so important. You have bomb control at the top of a site. You're close right there. Taking a gunfight, a cross track, probably not what you're looking for, especially when your teammates are literally nowhere near you to even come close to trading off, even if you did expose a guy. So, just not the play you're looking for. I don't feel like that's like a typical play from him. I feel like they're starting to perhaps frustrate these Nexus players who had that really early success. They tasted it early, and then have been getting absolutely rejected since then. I mean, there was, I think, of the rounds that Quetzal has won in a row, they've kept 2 players alive minimum every time. So they haven't even been worked down to a one-on-one since those initial 3 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, Vico just lighting him up at Banana with a couple of early op picks, and they tried to put a fire on Carr to force Vico out, but it landed in front and never really spread to him in time. He took no damage from that, in fact, and still got 2 picks. So that's really big that, I mean, they're trying to counter that aggression with that fire, but it just didn't do anything. And I think that was like, that probably freaked him out. Like, whoa, like how is he still there? How do we not push him off of that? And they took a lot of damage. We do see them getting B inside CT spawn. Seems like they're aware of it, though. You can already see someone posted up that's, you know, Viku here, like, looking for B.
Ooh, B not playing 16x9. He's gonna see him.
Yeah, I think it's an awkward exchange, and B will win that, but Blue Meister, he's still inside B. He just needs to hold for time. There is a flank coming in Banana from 2 players. He just needs to try to stay alive as long as possible. He's hiding behind the fountain. He's trying to do just that, but BTK will catch him. So now we have a 3 versus 3. Kinky's flank is pretty fast here, and in fact, will just prevent the bomb plant. So big play there from Quetzal. Now the clock is on their side. The pressure's on Nexus to try to recollect that bomb and put it back into a planning situation. Good kill, but gets flanked, and now, I mean, Seb running out of time. He has to go for the kills at this point. There's no way he's going to be able to plant. He doesn't have the time, and Quetzal will, in fact, just go ahead and kill him outright. So 7 rounds in a row here from Quetzal, playing really, really well here on the CT side.
Yeah, he was all mixed up. They actually very easily could have killed him after time and denied him a good chunk of change, but it doesn't matter. I think Quetzal will just take that round win and keep their streak alive. I think they're hitting a really comfortable flow right now. It's 7 straight. They're 1 round away from winning the half, and all in one effort. Along with that, their economy is, for the most part, stabilized as well. I mean, they have 9K on a player, 5.9 on 2 as well. It's really Kinky who's been absorbing a huge amount of the economy, but that's what it takes to get these ops going and continuously working. And as you said, Vico continuously moving where he's going to push it. He's actually could potentially get killed here by B, who's going to see his head and see an op that's not even looking in his direction. So that is a frag and a free gun for Nexus.
That's
he
rough.
got aim punched. Oh, he got aim punched so bad. He actually hit a really, he was properly aimed there onto Spader.
I'm sure Viku's a bit upset that Spader wasn't watching that. It was actually where Spader was set up, but Spader still finds 2 unanswered frags. Now Kiki and Secret Agent chime in rather quickly as well, so even though they kind of caught Viku for free in the apartments because his teammate wasn't covering him, they respond just fine. I mean, they don't lose any more players here. BTK alone with this deagle at Carr and the bomb. He knows there's 1 player here. He just got blinded by him, and he has to kind of wait for the smoke to dissipate. Meanwhile, a 2nd player, Secret Agent, will make his way back over here into CT spawn. So BTK will start working his way up here with that deagle. Blue Meister over at triple. BTK does not spot him. He doesn't realize it. He's looking towards CT. He realizes that he could be getting crossfired. He's trying to sniff it out here. Just hasn't caught anyone die just yet. Finally does, and gets blasted by both players. Puts some damage in to BTK, but not enough. And so there you have it. Quetzal is continuing their winning streak here. Ever since the gun round started, they have not really let up or given Nexus much to work with.
No, and actually, I was taking a look at the scoreboard, and no one of those players that we highlighted very earlier, I think 2nd round was the player that sniffed out the opening frag at B with the Mac 10. I don't think has gotten a frag since he killed that guy boosted on those first frags. 1 in 10, while the rest of his teammates are kind of a little bit up there on the scoreboard.
You know what I also notice is like they're investing a lot of money into getting Wappa the op regularly, and I haven't seen him get anything.
He hasn't really. Oh, there you go. That's what you get just for saying that.
Yep, exactly. That's actually, I think, his first op kill of the game. I think most of his other kills came from rifles, if I'm not mistaken. Or that's one of the very few kills he's gotten with the op. But he finally gets Viku down for free, without anyone from Quetzal being able to trade. And I feel like this is the first time we've really seen Nexus in an early man advantage like this.
I think it's the only early man advantage they've had since they were initially winning those pistol rounds. I feel like every round Quetzal has just been getting the opening pick, or at the very least, the frags have been instantaneous back and forth, and they've just been getting the better of the early engagement, even if they didn't get the specific first kill. This is certainly, as you said, the first time they've ever had a chance to control the pace of a round with a man advantage since those early rounds. It looks like they're going to bring it towards B. There is still a 2-man stack there in Kinky and Blue Meister. Let's see what they can do here.
Yeah, I mean, Kiki does still have the smoke and an incendiary, so he has enough to kill a lot of clock here, at least force them to take damage through that incendiary or force them to push through the smoke. The smoke comes out. That'll kill a good bit of time here. Nexus is setting up, but again, he still has that incendiary. Somehow, walking through the gap is able to find a kill, but Kinky, he does have incendiary. He's going to put it there in front of the smoke. That is going to force them to take some damage as they run through. Even though they don't really take a whole lot, they're still waiting back. They just send no one out there by himself while they wait behind the fire with the rest for it to dissipate. And now they have that B bomb site. The bomb is coming down. Flank comes in from B, but Secret Agent catches onto it. But Spader, he's way far off.
Not even blind.
Yeah, this is over. I mean, they're just going to try to save these guns to get exit. Some Secret Agent.
Yeah, can't hurt. As I said, the company has mostly recovered. Yeah, right now their poorest player is sitting on 5K, so they definitely can afford to take this one off and actually even keep the terrorists towards the site and all dying to the bomb and force the terrorists to rebuy everything. They may not be able to re-afford an op unless it's B that's providing it. They are going to be trying to escape towards Banana. BTK knows what Secret Agent is up to, but it's going to try to run away. Actually, they may be able to get away here scot-free. No punishment. The Secret Agent can get a little bit of damage in. The op still going to be saved, I think, as it's a one-on-one.
Yeah,
he's not going to repeat that.
And that was really the big difference maker that round was actually Waka. We've been talking about how he's been getting outpicked by Viku a lot. He hasn't really done a whole lot with the op. And he's fragging well. He's not intense like he's doing terrible, but the impact hasn't been with the op. It's been with other weapons, it seems. But that round, he gets the opening pick at Viku. At Banana also finds the pick on the Blue Meister holding the site. And he was really the one that had the most impact on Nexus finally winning their first gun round. So.
No one as well. The player that I called out along with our dual call-out round where we both got proved wrong at the same time. No one got in the site and got an opening frag, kind of solo dolo, just rolled on in there, snuck his way through it, and picked up a frag onto that guy on spools. So yeah, all of the players that we were calling out a little bit for not playing up to snuff, throwing it right back into our faces, they got to keep it up at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big round to win. You don't want to have your money reset, though, however, if you're Nexus eSports. There was a lot of rebind that had to take place because Waka was the only person who remained alive with that op. You can see how low their money is. They would be forced to save, certainly, if they can't find this round. So the pressure is definitely on Nexus here. They made that first push in the right direction, but they have to, continue that if they want to break through and actually have a chance to make this half a bit better for themselves, as they are playing it slow once again. Waka just with that op solo at B again. So odd to see him in that position with it while the rest of the team is just, again, working that apartments control, which they already have. And they just have to kind of make their decision where they want to go. That bomb is still down at the bottom of the Banana, so Waka may grab and just meet up with them here today.
Yeah, it's also interesting, stop me if you actually notice this, but Viku going to be playing with an M4. Not going for the op on this round, actually, even though he could totally afford one. Kiki going to be full blind, going to be killed here, or should be killed here by BS, going to leave Spader as the last man standing in the pit. This should be an easy site take here coming out from Paris, but we've seen easier strats get blown up.
Spader has a good position here, though. He just needs to stay alive and wait for that rotation to come in, which is on its way. He also finds 2 kills. Really big play there from Spader. He gets it into a 2 versus 2. Just waiting to see if the rest of Quetzal can make this retake happen here. No one has a good position inside the pit. Viku trying to work his way up here. Doesn't spot no one just yet. Blue Meister coming around Moto, just running through the fire, looking for a kill. Trying to find here. He does spot one in the back of the site, but he goes down. He will step in. He grabs that kill, but there's still one pit. He's trying to see if he can find that player. Yeah, I know, but he charges straight after the frag anyway. And, would have been good to tap it there to see if he can draw no one out, but he didn't. He just kept trying to hunt for the frag and can never find it.
Yeah, was really limited on time. I'm not even sure how much he was expecting the player to be in pit, or maybe he was even trying to grab a gun and save in the corner of pit with the bomb explosion, thinking that it was planted for some kind of arch or library play, because it really wasn't planted for pit. So a little bit of mind games going on there. Don't really know. A lot of it broke down too quickly for me to fully comprehend what was happening. But the end result is what's really most important there. Nexus eSports coming out on top, and Waka once again joining his buddy Seb, getting opening frags with that up, controlling the pace of the round. Quick 5-on-3, just like 10 seconds into the round.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, Nexus avoids their money being reset, avoids having to save this round. In fact, they get a full buy, and now if they can win this round, they'll actually would force Quetzal to have to take, well, I guess they wouldn't take the save. It's the last round of the half next round, but they're not going to have much to work with is really the point. So, I mean, Nexus, they can close out this round. They have a great chance to put up 7 rounds on the terrorist side of Inferno, and that would be very impressive, especially given how this game started. Great job trapping him in there, and Nexus will get that frag. We do have a little bit of a ninja situation going on, but B's going to catch on the Kinky, and so yeah, it's just up to Viku playing inside B. He gets taken care of. And there's Nexus, man. They were struggling for so long on gun rounds. They had lost 8 in a row, and now they've won 3 in a row, and like I said, very likely a 4th, as Quetzal doesn't have much to work with this round.
Yeah, I would say shout out Waka for that, dominating with the op early on, a few rounds in a row now, finding opening picks seemingly everywhere. A huge force for his team in terms of getting them back on track. And then also, as I said, he got one frag on round 2 and then didn't frag at all in that entire round, and is now starting to finally wake up and snap out of whatever trance he was in, fragging as well. Everyone else was always pulling their weight. They were losing a bunch of close rounds, just not quite picking up all the frags, getting all the trades. Seems like they might have been reawoken. As I said, they have to keep it up, though. If they could close out the half 8-7, I would say that's a totally successful terrorist side half. I don't think it came like we expected, but, 8-7 can't ask for much more as a terrorist.
Yeah, I mean, with this being like probably the most difficult T side you can play in the rotation, to be able to put up 7 rounds is actually very, very good. And then you add on top of that how this half kind of went, where they were losing 8 rounds in a row, to be able to recover so well 4 rounds in a row at the end. I mean, that's a great recovery, and just in general a great T side on this map. We are going to see if Nexus can in fact finish off the 7th round, as they do have the opening pick. They have a lot of numbers over here towards Banana. They're going to smoke off CT. Viku is going to be here with just the FAMAS, and Blue Mice are playing with just an ump there at the back. So, like I said, definitely a little bit low on firepower as Nexus will make their way in, but Blue, he does pick up a kill. Viku also with one, he's staying alive, but BTK does trade him out. They do still have that man advantage. That bomb is going down. Kinky blocked off by the smoke, and he still has a long rotate coming in from his teammate. And B's there to cut it off there inside CT spawn, actually. So, there you have it. So it's all going to be up to Kinky now, and you got to think that's going to be Nexus, and it will be 7 rounds for Nexus. Very, very good ending to the half for them.
Yeah, and I feel like we were, talking about Waka a little bit, Noah a little bit. I feel like we failed to mention how important B has been. I feel like he's worked his way onto the CT flank. 4 rounds in a row now. I don't even know how. I watched him do it once. He had a quick pop flash move that he used to get into Arch, and that's how he got behind the CTs. I don't even know how he did it the past 3 rounds in a row. I wasn't really focused on that, but somehow he just managed to use the attention towards B to slip his way through the CTs and was just constantly getting on these flanks. And it was a huge fragging force for his team, the top fragger for his team at 14 and 10. I feel like it just. We had to mention him. I feel like he was certainly doing a lot of the heavy fragging for his teammates. A lot of fragging on rounds that they weren't winning, but still just was consistently pulling in damage all game and being one of those forces for their team that they needed to keep going. He was instrumental on a lot of those CT plays and the B retakes.
Absolutely. Also, just gotta give credit here to like some of the people who turned around for Nexus. I mean, Waka started finding opening picks with the op. That was huge because you saw so often Viku was able to get opening picks throughout like that 8-round winning streak that they had, but then all of a sudden the tables kind of turned, and you saw Waka being able to step up and find some opening picks. Same with No One. He really kicked it up there the last 4 rounds. You noted he only had 1 frag, like after 8 gun rounds, and then all of a sudden he kind of gets some key frags there towards the end. So very well done. Also some good jobs from Quetzal. I mean, Viku did have a pretty good run there for a while. Also Spader was very impressive on that A-bomb site, but it's still Nexus who have the slight edge here. Unless Quetzal can win this pistol, that will give them a little bit of something to work with here. A lot of decoys and alt. Now Quetzal going to be storming out of the apartments. A good molly there on to pit the Flusher player out. They do get that kill, and the bomb is going to get planted, but Nexus, they still do have quite a few members out there trying to make this retake happen.
Ooh, another one for Sam.
And it's a big kill there. We're going to see if Nexus can, in fact, make this retake happen. You do see them forcing their way into the apartments. A flank is coming in actually from mid now on a player who jumped out the window. It's going to be Kinky. He will find a frag, but Nexus, they have gotten to the site. They have a player defusing. Waka holding off Quetzal from being able to peek this bomb planner as well. Same with Seb, so they cover their diffuser very, very well. What a round there from Nexus.
Yeah, everyone there in that final 3 did their job. Seb getting really the core frags for his teammates, BTK sticking the diffuser, and Waka there catching the mid rotator coming up from truck side as well. I mean, Seb, 3 headshots. Found one as they were coming into the site, another one, a guy trying to just catch a frag onto a CT, and then finding the ultimate frag onto that apartments player who was really the CT's last hope to kill the diffuser. Huge, huge round from him. Waka as well stepping up. I mean, 2 monstrously impact plays from those 2 players.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Waka being able to do so well, and Seb, as you noted, got a couple of key frags. So, I mean, just really well done. I mean, I thought the execute from Quetzal was actually pretty solid. I mean, they spilled out the apartments very well. They got that initial trade they needed to get the bomb down, just couldn't hold off the retake. So, at each point in that round, it seemed like someone else was in control, but in the end, it is Nexus who takes it. And now they're able to upgrade their guns. They have a great chance to take a 10-8. With that bomb plant, Quetzal only gets 250s here. They're looking to buy AKs next round, which is why I'm surprised Nexus is so SMG heavy, knowing those AKs are coming. Maybe we will see someone like Seb go ahead and immediately upgrade since he bought one of the cheaper SMGs, but let's see how this plays out. It's no one peeks out. He spots someone apartments, and Quetzal coming out here again, but he's ready for him, but only gets one, but Waka there to trade. No problemo. 3 kills there. And it looks like this one's all over. Waka with the quad kill.
Yeah, more solid step-up play from Waka. Similar strat executed by Quetzal, trying to make some headway into the apartments there and find some frags. Unable to do so for the most part. 4K with that MP7. Actually, one of them was with the USP. 3K with the MP7. One
Waka.
USP. And yeah, Waka, you said maybe they'll go straight for the upgrade, and boy, did they. They're going right to the top with it. All surrounded by 2 MP7s, a FAMAS, and an M4. Really odd assortment of guns here coming out from a team that is up 2-0 on the half of 2, but let's see, he could, as he was doing before, take complete control of a round early on. I don't think he's going to get aggressive enough to peek towards alt mid, but I mean, he's getting
Quetzal
some attention over towards mid.
So passive, man. Like, they're still on T stairs with 3
I think
of their
they
players.
were waiting for just some intense SMG aggression, but Nexus is too good and too experienced of a team to fall for that kind of trap. They know the bomb got planted early on, and they know they only went against armorless P250, so
I don't know if they were just expecting like an all-out mid-push or something. They were very passive in their own side apartments for the longest time, and now because of that, they've been denied banana control. They're going to be able to keep refreshing that smoke on the bottom of banana here with B and BTK, and that cuts off so many options here for Quetzal. I mean, they're just basically getting funneled into one area, or they're going to have to go up against a tough crossfire here. Yeah, BTK gets one, but look at he's gonna step up, but he only gets 1 kill, but that's okay. BTK gets another. It's an equal exchange though for Quetzal, so they didn't really get as much as that off as they wanted, but they do have a man advantage on this retake as the spawn begins to get planted here. But oh, Seb already catching Spader. That's actually the bomb down. Blue Meister will pick it up. Trying to see if he can't get a plant. He fakes the plant. The push comes in. He knows it's coming, and he catches Waka with the flank from no one at banana. Gets it to the opening gun now. Not going to work either, and so Nexus should be able to at least get this 11th round, no problem, as Quetzal won't have much to work with.
Yeah, you'd hope so. And that was actually some really bad luck from Quetzal. Not only did they decide to play that one particularly passively, but it was actually a time where Nexus wanted a deep banana control, and the two teams basically seemed to agree there. They said, hey, you know, we don't want to take banana. We're going to hang out back here. And Nexus said, fine, we'll take it. We'll box you out. We'll throw these smokes down here. We'll push you into a crossfire that you don't want to run into. And they used that to leverage a victory there. So really good read by Nexus, taking advantage of what Quetzal was throwing at them very early in the round. Like, there's no way they could have, I mean, wasted enough time. Like, maybe they could have just, you know, chilled top car and then pushed their way down. That had to have been a decision before the round to take banana control, and it just happened to work out perfectly for them.
Absolutely here, and I mean, Quetzal just getting cleaned up. There's really not much to talk about here. We do see Vico getting 1 frag, but that's going to be about it. So Nexus will go up 11-8, and I mean, what a turnaround they have made this game. I mean, for a while there, it was looking like we were going to see one of those classic CT shutdowns from Quetzal, but Nexus was able to come alive and put up a very solid number of 7, and so far on their CD side, they haven't let up. They've won the pistol. You know, they've won the opening gun round, and they have a pretty decent lead here and on the favored side going forward. So everything is kind of stacked in Nexus's favor. We just have to see what Quetzal can come up with here on their terrace side. This is like their first really big buy round of the half, and again, they're getting denied entrance to banana right off the bat.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, here we're seeing Nexus not commit on the banana push to take control. I think they are assuming that, you know, Vico or the rest of the teammates could have taken banana, and they didn't make the decision early enough to push down on that smoke. So ultimately, they can't even take control. That just goes to show how, not luckiness, I mean, lucky has a generally negative connotation, but the timing for Nexus, how they were able to win that first AK round from Quetzal. And big round here, as you said, a huge comeback here from Nexus, and I really think that just goes to show how frustrated they were early on, and how a lot of their mistakes, I think, were based on their own frustrations, even if they weren't individually venting their frustration. As I said, like individual peaks, like from Seb dying with no teammates around him, just plays that were unlike them. They were kind of, you know, mentally frustrated from not being able to execute shots that they think should be working, and it seems like now they're hitting their rhythm, they're starting to hit that flow, even their more aggressive individual plays are paying off.
Yeah, now Quetzal is going to start working themselves in the mid here with 30 seconds left on the clock. Waka over here peeking out with the op is able to find 2 picks right away. Seb also killing one even with the fire. Spader gets run through the blender there by Seb, and no one will finish it off. And so, yeah, Nexus puts up a very stout defense. You can see Quetzal just kind of dedicating to an A hit there with 30 seconds left, and just couldn't find really any picks. I mean, Waka shut down art side with the op. You had Seb and no one really shutting down the lane with the good counter smoke and fitting in some rifle shots. And so there you have it. Quetzal put in a situation where they either have to force or take a save, and they will in fact force up those AKs as much as they can. And Nexus, though, solid lead here. They're out 12-8. They're looking real good. Quetzal need to make this round work, because next round's going to be a low buy if this one doesn't pan out.
Certainly, and they actually may be running through their own Molotovs here to take this banana control. They could catch Nico off guard here. He's going to see B spam towards him. Not going to get a frag. They're really trying to boost him up there. Maybe a bit obvious here, though, now for B.
Another smoke goes up here, and yeah, BTK sees them, steps
up
and grabs the kill. Really well done there from BTK. Good awareness to kind of realize what was going on there, and he finds a free frag. And so that's going to be big for Quetzal, who have been continuously either denied directly by pressure from Nexus with their rifles, or even that smoke has done enough to stop Quetzal from trying to, do anything early in rounds at Banana.
Yeah, let's see. Man advantage going towards Nexus. I'm surprised to see Nexus not go for a buy-up and decide to force up on the AK. Or sorry, not to go for an AWP buy-up here and go for this AK, because we saw how effective Waka was with that T-side AWP and how he was essentially able to single-handedly control the pace of the rounds from that side of the map. It seems like they may be able to do it with rifles, so they get 2 picks apiece over here at A. It's going to leave Waka as the last man standing. As I said, with that AWP, high-pressure situation, not in a great spot here. Needs to kill Stater if he has any hope of surviving. I would jump out of there, but he has greater plans here.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy he gets that second kill, but Quetzal trades very, very effectively here. Now they have a 2 versus 1 with the bomb down now. They do have Blue Meister very low on HP, playing over here towards the porch. BTK going to avoid him, though. He's going right up into Moto. There is a player here inside the pit. Shots come out. BTK realizes that he's still trying to find the second player, however, but he's not going to, as that player has gone inside the apartments here, which is where the bomb is planted for. So, I mean, BTK is almost in a winless situation. I think he kind of realizes it, and that's why he's going to back off and say this in 4. No real need to go for this. They should still be able to get a full buy next round, and you might have the ability to like reset their economy next round as well if you can win it and kind of get them back on a low buy. So it's still okay for Nexus, but really well done. There were so many times where I thought Nexus was going to shut that down, especially like with Waka's op, but then you just see Secret Agent just keep fighting back and get Quetzal a win.
Yeah, Waka, I think, had he been playing Pit, perhaps could have been a little bit more effective. Just trapped himself in the graveyard area. It was actually surprising that he got 2 frags. I really think that should have been a 1-and-out spot. And the fact that he was as successful as he was, I think, is more of just him flexing a little bit with the op rather than I don't know, rather than any substantial CS play there. I feel like he would just had his back against the wall and happened to hit a good shot there. No real chance for him to explode and ever pick up, I think, both of those frags just with the position he was in. Would have had better luck from Pit, but obviously, hindsight 2020, maybe he wouldn't have even gotten the first frag from Pit, so who knows how these rounds would have broken down, but as you said, Quetzal played it right, got the trades, but Waka going to be controlling the pace of the rounds still with that off.
Right, I mean, he had a pretty decent round with it last round. He just couldn't quite do enough, and he had 2 nice kills. The rest of his team just didn't really follow through, but again, they have an opening pick here thanks to him. With that 5-on-4, we'll see if Nexus can't shut this thing down. Quetzal again looking to execute. They're going to smoke off that arch side. They will come out. They will take step down at port. So a big kill, but no one here on the balcony. No one really realizes it just yet. He does get forced to drop down inside the pit. He will get this first kill on the Spader. Another one will jump on top of him, but he grabs that one as well. So no one staying alive, making some big kills here inside the pit. He knows there's a couple inside the site now, and he gets that rotation in from B. And Waka's still up as well, pushing in, but Kinky, he finds one, he finds a second, tries to make a play for it, but no one is going to just make a really big play from Pit with that hat trick. And so reset Quetzal's money, they get around it, and they're just moving ever closer to that map point.
Yeah, you would never recommend a team drops around on purpose, but if you're going to lose a round, you might as well slam the terrorist team right back and reset that economy. It's $1,400 for 2 of the Quetzal players. They're going to be going for nothing. Actually, Blue Meister are going to be buying a P250 last second, so spending a little bit of that cash, but I mean, they really don't even have that much to go through. Nexus eSports is well armed here and should be prepared for this ensuing B take. Let's see what they have. Who is that? 8 and 6. That's BTK and B. Guns up. The players are coming in. B, get ready to shoot.
And so we're seeing this attack come in here, but no one in BTK shutting it down quite effectively. Secret Agent does find one with that P250, but Seb immediately shuts him down, so Blue Meister's left all alone here in a 1v4. And granted, we didn't really expect much out of this round. They didn't really have much invested into it. Nexus just kind of doing their job by making sure that nothing funky happens here, and so they will get up to 14, 1 round away from Matt Point and Quetzal. They're going to have one more goodbye to try to win this game, or at least to try to make sure they get an overtime.
Yeah. Oh,
this
I was
is
kind of
last
hoping
chance.
they would play for OT. Yeah, it's understandable.
I don't think you can play for OT the way things are going. I think you have to go for
Probably
this.
not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm one of those save guys. I don't know. I've always been one of the save guys. I'm always most comfortable with a real rifle in hand. If I was one of those Galil players, I'd be a little bummed out right now, or even the MP7 player on Boomeister. But, you know, as you said, there is not much of a other opportunity for them here. They have to start winning rounds if they want to stay competitive. Having their economy reset was really the last thing they wanted to have happen. But they are able to get an open pick towards A. Are unable to get a second one thus far, but Seth actually should be able to get traded out by Kinky, and that's the A bomb site there, as Boomeister finds one as well.
Right, so I mean, it is some good kills here from Quetzal. They do have a man advantage. They are getting this bomb plant inside the A bomb site, so this is well done. This is exactly what they needed to try to hold Nexus off from Matt Point. They forced up here, and they've so far made it work out well. Now it's just about making sure you don't get the retake coming in B. He is going to catch Bluemeister, though, inside the apartments, but they had that information. But also, we do have BTK making his way up Moto with full HP. He's not sure where anyone is yet, however. He's working to the site, and B finds another kill on the Kinky. That's huge, but it's still Secret Agent. He's at Boiler. He still has a chance. The bomb gets tapped. He's able to get one kill. The last player's low. Time is running out. He puts down his smoke. He's trying to see if he can't stick it here. Secret Agent going to come around, and he grabs it just in time. And so big play there from Secret Agent at the end to win the 1v2 and keep Quetzal afloat in this game.
Oh, not that I'm choosing sides, but I wanted that flash to hit him. I wanted to get killed by the flash there. That would have been really exciting to see. Either way, the outcome we got was plenty exciting. Just barely beating out the defuse was Secret Agent there. And, you know, there you go. There they go. Showing me for being a natural warrior. Buying up is what got him around one. Actually forcing Nexus themselves onto an eco round. So that aggressive buy paid off. So those Galils got the job done. They got those opening picks and were able to bully their way up towards truck, which is actually a strat. I think that's been the only successful thing that Quetzal's been able to do thus far in this terrorist side, right? It's been work apartments and work ultimately trucks that have gotten utterly rejected everywhere else.
Yeah, I think they've really just been trying to avoid Waka because they know that he likes to off that arch side, so they've just been smoking that off and just trying to attack into, you know, porch, and they've been pretty successful at that, like getting picks. It's really just been holding off retakes has been an issue, but that time around, Secret Agent was able to make sure it didn't happen. And so Quetzal in this round, they're up against a saving Nexus, but Nexus has found a Galil on the BTK, and they have found an equal exchange, at least keeping them afloat in this round, giving them some type of chance to try to pull the upset round victory here. Quetzal is being quite cautious as well. You know, really had to slow down their play after that initial exchange went in and did not really go the way they wanted. Now Crossfire coming out, Seb is baiting, allowing no one to step out and grab a kill, but it's only one, so it will in fact be Quetzal being able to make it into A. Now Waka still is inside the apartments, but they're backing off and they're going to attack into B. BTK kind of realizing this as Waka will come to brackets and spot no one, so they know what's up. And we will get a flank in too, so there's still some hope here with these two Galils, but Quetzal, they have the man advantage.
Yeah, I was a little concerned that BTK would give up that position. He actually does get killed for it anyway, but I really think that position was much better than CT. Waka able to deny the plant. He should have been. Did actually get the kill, but either way, is going to be the terrorists closing out that round. Quetzal just cutting this one closer and closer. Let's see what Nexus... their economy is looking pretty good. Seb's the only player that's on uneven footing, but I think that, I mean, if Quetzal was able to buy up and get around one before, you'd think that Nexus eSports would be able to here as well, and actually they are going to be going for it, including that op onto Waka, so this is it. Yeah. This is their chance to beat Quetzal, and firepower-wise, they actually still have them beat, despite the fact that they're having these economy problems.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a good win from Quetzal to keep him afloat, but Nexus made that pretty scary. That wasn't the comfortable round win I think Quetzal was looking for. I mean, that really came down to the wire, and Waka is going to find that opening pick. That's going to be him getting the better of Viku. I mean, it started out the other way. Viku was really, you know, getting a nice opening picks. He's taking down Waka, but Waka, ever since like the last 4 rounds of the first half, has really just been an absolute terror with that op. Quetzal has been unable to respond. And that's another opening pick. And, I mean, they need this round. If they lose this, they basically have nothing to work with when Nexus goes for the W in the next round. So this is very, very critical for them to try to find a way out of this round and keep things going here. Again, they're trying to come up porch. Yeah, he gets stuck because he's blinded, so he gets killed in the fire. He can't get out of it here. V gonna spot the bomb carrier at brackets as well. And this is just a nightmare for Quetzal. Completely shut down. They were blinded for so long that they died in fire. and be able to come through there and just finish them off. And I mean, yeah, look at this. Things are pretty dire here for Quetzal. Not much to work with, and this should be a win now for Nexus, I believe.
Certainly. You'd think that despite the fact that Spader's been playing fantastically for Quetzal with that 24-17 scoreline, not sure if he's going to be able to do enough with that AK to keep his team in this one. Nexus coming out on top, or seemingly coming out. We'll have to see. Let's see what actually happens here. But potentially coming out on top of what could have been a real grinder for them, and in a game or a series rather where they're certainly the favorites. Waka getting that opening frag once again. I feel like that's just he just gets opening frags. That's what he does.
Yeah, I mean, Nexus has already got themselves into a very early 5 versus 3 with some aggression here. Again, on Banana, they've been doing this almost every single round. I feel like Quetzal's never been able to do anything remotely worthwhile early on the B side of the map here on their terrorist side. This entire game, Kinky is able to find 1 kill, makes it a bit better for his team, but there's still a man down with only 1 rifle in play. That's going to be in Bluemeister's hands here. He's just watching for that banana flank because he knows that they've been putting pressure there pretty much every round. It's not going to happen, but they do early rotate a player to A to have 3 still in position on this side of the map, and that's where Quetzal's been favoring. They have a great bait set up here at Archer and Closet. Bluemeister grabs the 1. Seb makes a trade, but it's even, so it's still a 2-on-2, but Waka, he's still up with this op inside the pit here. He does let 1 player cross into the side already, misses his shot, but B's coming around up mid. He's putting so much pressure on Bluemeister, forcing him into the side as well, but Waka, he keeps missing these op shots, and so the bomb, funny enough, will actually get planted here, and somehow they're still alive and they get the kill on the B. This is insane. They're so low on HP. You would think Waka should have no problem here. He's going to pull out the USP. He's going to start working his way in. Throws the incendiary, trying to force someone out of position, but gets caught, and that's insane that they won that round. Holy cow.
Most certainly, Bluemeister picking up a huge 4K for his team, pushing himself to 15 and 19. And I called before. I said I wanted Waka in pit instead of Graveyard, and he didn't get the frags that time. He was able to get 2 from Graveyard despite me claiming that was a worse position. So different rounds and different scenarios break down just in completely different ways, and Waka unable to capitalize despite the fact that he had that opening frag that we were talking about. Quetzal now 3 rounds back, have some guns in their hands, including an op now for I think the first time thus far on their, no, not the first time, but
yeah, right,
potentially their first time to make one effective so far here on the terrorist side.
Yeah, again, they're putting that smoke at the bottom of an A, and they're trying to press down. They do have 2 players up close with those pistols, so they're keeping the same style of play on this CT side, but they are just on pistol. They try to press through the smoke. They will actually grab 1 kill, but only 1, and Quetzal has clamped down pretty well to avoid that play having any impact. And so it is 13-15 all of a sudden. So, I mean, Quetzal having their own bit of a comeback late in the half on their terrorist side, just as Nexus did in the first half, but theirs could be more meaningful. It could be the one that pushes this game in the overtime. But Nexus on a full buy here, and even an all coming out from B. Looks like he's trying to play Black Ops 3 early with that.
Yeah,
thing.
He's trying to get a pre-order copy.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Oh wait, no, isn't it like Halo
scope?
has that new battle rifle you can get that looks almost exactly like a Astronaut?
I have no idea, but I know
Halo 5 Guardians. Yeah,
I have a paper due on Tuesday at 10, and if I can get it done before then, I'm buying myself Halo. Already promised myself that, but it means I got to do my homework.
Oh man,
out there should, yeah, right. Everyone out there should be doing their homework. I shouldn't have to bribe myself, but here we are anyway.
Look at you sending positive messages out there to the viewers.
To the kids out there. Everyone do your homework. I'm sure everyone out there.
I've been telling Elise not to do his homework and play CS full time.
He should be playing CS. Yeah, for sure. He should not be doing his homework. His homework should be fragging.
All right, yeah, I got you. It's just a funny joke. I mess with Elise all the
Swag
time
as well.
That. Swag already doesn't go to school, mate.
That's true.
He's just busy
I don't know what
on
he's
vacation.
Fragging.
He's on vacation.
Winning 10 mans. Getting paid to win 10 mans.
Yeah, I guess. As we are going to see what could be the last round of the game, unless Quetzal can keep pushing this thing. They've done pretty well on some of these portside executions, so we'll see if they can break through again here and keep this thing rolling. As they do work themselves into the site here. Kinky is going to try to get the pick on the Seb, but he can't, and no one's also found a kill, so the exchange going in Nexus' favor. Waka will light him up with the op as well. The rotate comes in from Moto, and Quetzal just gets absolutely demolished this round in Nexus. Despite it being a pretty close game, will be the victors here, 16-13. Now, this is a best-of-3, but that means that Quetzal has to win this next map to force a third. Otherwise, it will be Nexus taking it a 2-0. So, what a game. I mean, that was...
out of nowhere.
Like an RKO?
Yeah, pretty much. I would say similar to an RKO, but I think an RKO might perhaps be. I think you would reserve that one for a more dominant performance. I think if you ask Nexus, I think they wanted that one a lot more cleaner or a lot more cleanly. I think would be grammatically correct, and I think
I
they had a
think that's
lot of
better.
opportunities. I mean, they just they came alive in the beginning and the ends of T side. I think if you ask them, they could have picked up a lot more on Terra's side, and they got perhaps a little bit overly confident towards the end, unable to get those frags on those Quetzal players. I feel like the 16-13 very easily could have looked like a 16-6 or a 16-7 for Nexus had they not had their momentum slowed so badly. But them's the breaks in Counter Strike, so you have to be able to work out of those slumps. And that's exactly what Nexus was able to do. Luckily for them, it was not too late, and both pistol rounds is important for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they won both pistols. That was big. They also won the opening gun round in the second half as well, which also was a pretty big aid. But anyway, we are going to take just a quick break here. But when we come back, we are going to have Map 2, which is going to be Overpass. And if Quetzal can win Overpass, we will move on to Map 3, which will in fact be a Mirage.
They've already played on Mirage too, and it went 16-3 in favor of Nexus. So if I'm Quetzal, I'm perhaps a little bit worried about that.
All right. Well, we'll just have to see how it plays out. It may even be over before then if Nexus can take this Overpass map. But we will just take that quick break, letting the players kind of reset, to take a break themselves, and then we will get live with Map 2 very, very shortly. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be back soon.